Hello, everyone. Today I come to you with Deysi Sanchez, a counselor at COS, and she is here to answer the questions for Ask the Faculty. Are you ready, Deysi?
I am ready.
Deysi, what's your favorite food truck?
Oh man, any taco. Well, no, not any taco truck, but a taco truck, a good taco truck. I think kids now are so spoiled with how many taco trucks. I remember in high school, we'd have to drive out to the middle of, Parlier between Dinuba and Fresno, having to find a good truck. But yeah, I'm still a softie for just good old tacos.
Nice. What's the main reason you chose counseling?
I was one of those students in college that changed my major a couple of times. I started off pre-med. I'm clearly not a doctor. And even after I graduated, I felt like I just didn't know what to do, where to go, who to turn to, being first generation. My brothers and sisters kind of stumbled through college and just landed where we all did. And I thought that I needed to be in education. I wanted to be in education, and just counseling felt really natural. I'm a talker, I'm a people person. So just being able to funnel that into a way to help students kind of find their way and find their passion and hopefully better their life situation. I have a soft spot for our undocumented students, so that was always a focus. And then a really soft spot for my STEMIs because, well, again, I was pre-med, but I didn't go that route, but definitely just helping our students find their way, giving them that nudge that, maybe their parents don't know how to do for them. So I just like to help.
Nice. Excellent. Well, that's what we can only hope for in our counselors. I know you haven't taught a lot. I know you taught one course. What was it like?
So I taught our student success course. And I only taught that one semester, only because I have so much other fun doing, the counseling in STEM and the counseling with our Student Success Center. But when I taught the Student Success class, I just really felt like it was a long counseling session, right? I zoned in on certain topics about picking your major and just being a successful student. And again, it was great for me. I'm a talker, so I liked the class. It was really great to get to know the students further and then just kind of help them through their barriers or just talk through any issues, they didn't really know who to ask, whether it be a teacher or a parent or anything like that. But yeah, I had a great experience teaching that class.
Awesome. What's your proudest non-working or non-work related accomplishment?
Gosh, it has to be my kids. My three little ones are a lot of work. They're all under the age of 7. So I'm a busy person, but just seeing them, ask questions and be so, ready to learn and eager to be, explorers. It's awesome being a mom.
Awesome. That's fantastic. What's something most people don't know about your past?
Wow. Probably the fact that I was born and raised and still came home and still live in Dinuba. A lot of people don't know where Dinuba is to begin with, but yeah, I was born and raised there. I met my husband there, obviously. When we were little, we grew up together, kind of just as friends and knowing each other since we lived in a small town. But yeah, I'm a proud Dinubian.
Nice. Stayed close to home or came back.
Yeah.
What is your I'd watch it 1,000 times movie?
Oh, Steel Magnolias.
Okay.
I just want to get a good cry in there and a good laugh. It's everything so I love Steel Magnolias.
What kind of policies do you have for students that are later absent?
So for most counseling appointments, because they are only 30 minutes, we have a late policy. So if you're about 5 minutes late, it kind of starts eating into the next appointment. So at that point, if we can extend it, if I don't have somebody coming in after, we will, or we'd have to reschedule. The policy is, after 2 no-shows, you kind of have to wait around and we can't start scheduling you. But I think most of my students know that I'm a softie when it comes to that. And I bend the rules a little bit, especially when I know, you're running from one spot to another, or you just can't log on to Zoom. Like sometimes that happens to us as well. So I'm pretty flexible, but yeah, we just have to be mindful of everybody's time. And especially if I have another appointment coming up, I want to make sure to give them or to give you all the, appointed time. So usually ends up a reschedule, but again,
It
be
happens.
nice, and we probably will sneak you in anyway.
Okay. What is one piece of advice to give to your students?
One thing I always tell my students is to give themselves a break. I feel like a lot of the students are just kind of all or nothing, especially when it comes, to finals times, and they're so busy and they're so stressed, and then they're just like, forget it, I'm never going to pass calculus, I need to give up and change my major. That was really one of the things I felt like I didn't get, where somebody said, okay, take a deep breath and just give yourself a break. You can try again next semester, or just because this isn't going in the exact path you thought it was, you have to, scrap the whole plan. So definitely give yourself a break. College is tough. So I always like to take them, kind of like take a deep breath and let's start fresh, or let's redo whatever we need to redo. But yeah, definitely give yourself a break. Things can be hard. Calculus is hard, chemistry is hard. So that's my piece of advice. Give yourself a break.
It is easy to burn yourself out. That's a good piece of advice. Do you have any pets?
I do. We have a 2-year-old black lab, and we've got extra holes in the backyard because of him right now. So he's a beast, apparently. The vet says that he's just a little bit bigger than most dogs. So he's got way too much energy for us, even between myself, my husband, and the 3 kids. He's still out there, trying to play and, run his energy out. So he's a big old beast, but he's lovely. He's just great to have around.
On a Sunday, would you rather hike a mountain or kill zombies?
Oh gosh, can I just sleep on a Sunday? Is that an option? No, if I have to pick, probably a hike, right? We take the dog out, we take the kids out. Especially since we have such great trails around here. Yeah, definitely being outdoors is nice.
What's your favorite recent counseling moment?
Recently I had a student come back after taking a break, just COVID, and online classes was just pretty rough on her. And she came back and said, I had to work, a little bit extra, and just being out in the real world made me realize how great school is. And so that was great to hear, and great to feel that she was, happy to be back. But, she said she wanted to make sure that she touched base with me because she thought I was worried about her. And so that was just wonderful to hear that I was like, yes, I was worried about you. Sometimes you just want to reach out and say, hey, where are you? But it was just great to see that she felt comfortable to come back and talk to me. And then, she had realized she wanted to be back in school. So that was a great counseling moment.
Awesome. Long weekend, where do you go?
Oh, anywhere to the coast. We love to be near the water. Cambria has been one of our, newly refound, I guess, because we used to go there a while ago, and we started going back again now that the kids are a little bit bigger. It's just so nice that it's cool there almost all year. So yeah, definitely coastal weather is what I like to experience. But Cambria has been a nice place for us to go lately.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Are you a do it now or wait until the last minute kind of person?
Oh no, I cannot wait until the last minute anymore. I feel like I break it down to little pieces, which makes it a little bit more doable. But I think I always give myself way too much more stress if I just leave it for later. Like I'll just be thinking about it rather than just getting it done. So if I can, I get it done then and there.
Kind of ruins that the moment now if you wait too long, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Or it just makes it a bigger problem, right? You start worrying about it more.
Well, I'm sure you touched on this and probably have a similar answer. If you had another career, what would you pursue?
Now that I'm older, right? I mean, I think I would definitely still want to be in services, probably still in education. I don't know if I would teach, but I feel like definitely education is still my area. With my kids, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be all kinds of things when we talk about what are we going to do. But I think education is just where my heart is. So maybe teaching. Yeah, maybe I would have taught.
What's your favorite anxiety reliever?
Reading. Oh, I can read for hours on end. I usually have a book here, a book in my office, a book in my car, just in case. So I definitely use my downtime or whatever little time I can find between work and the kids and everything else to read.
You're stuck on a deserted island. What's one inanimate object you would take?
A book. Definitely a book. Yeah.
What's your favorite thing about your job?
About my job, it's got to be just the interaction with students, and more often than not, it's just seeing their accomplishments and just knowing I was a little part of that. So definitely watching my students, achieve their goals, get closer to their goals is just the most rewarding thing in my job.
I think that's something we can all appreciate.
Yeah.
Office decor. Are you a minimalist or a maximalist?
Well, if you ask my husband, I think he thinks I'm a hoarder. So I'm going to say maximalist. I do have probably well into the 1980s catalogs of COS courses, not at my own fault. They were there when I got to the office, but it's my own fault that I keep them. But yeah, not a minimalist.
What's the biggest obstacle you would remove for students if you could?
Financial obstacles. I think that is, it just makes pretty much anything harder, but definitely not having the money for books, not having the money for, being a full-time student without having to work. I experienced those growing through school myself. So definitely that if I could remove that obstacle for our students, I would do that in a heartbeat.
What's the best thing about being a Costa member?
The ability, or I guess the space to connect with faculty. Being a non-teaching faculty, I feel like we're kind of in our own little group sometimes. And it's really nice to get to know people, to see the faces, right? We're usually helping with classes, and, students will ask, well, what about this teacher? And what about that teacher? And so I like how Costa gives me that space to get to know the rest of the faculty on campus.
Awesome. Well, everyone, now you know Deysi Sanchez. Thank you for your time, Deysi, and it's a pleasure to keep on working with you.
Thanks so much, David. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank you.